6-year-old Chris falls asleep. In his sleep he sees a turtle standing in the midst of a forest. Fireflies above him and bright butterflies all around him. Chris is about to enter a dream. Let us go with him to the land of dreams. Tom the Turtle plays in the many open greens of the forest. Glowing butterflies and fireflies swirl around him. The butterflies, in an almost musical way, sing,
"The forest of wonders awaits those who slumber."
Mother Turtle shows up along with Father Turtle. They look up to the sky and come closely to Tom. Tom looks at them and says, "Can't we stay till the fireflies go to sleep when the sky's dark?" Mother Turtle says to Tom, "You know you can't stay out past dark with the eye, but you can come back to the campground and stay up late as Duck tells one of his campfire stories." Tom, the butterflies, and Father Turtle go to the campfire. The campground is luxurious, right next to the lake with 4 beautiful cabins. At the campfire sits an old duck wearing a formal suit. He squeaks as he waves a frying pan over the fire with fish in it and says, "Late dinner for me. I have the sweets set for you." Tom grabbed a marshmallow and a stick. Father Turtle said in a calm, deep voice, "Only a few, or you won't get to the forest of wonders the butterflies talked about." Tom ate only a few of the delicious fire-roasted marshmallows. Duck began into a story. "Back in my days as a military duck." It went on for what seemed like hours. The sunlight faded to normal darkness, and then he ended his story with an exclamation. "So that was I was getting to with all that about my days in the Navy was this." He turned around and unfurled a large telescope as tall as he. Tom scurried up the telescope and said, "I want to see the stars with it." Mother Turtle said, "It's late. I know you want to see the night sky, but the butterflies said you need to sleep." The butterflies flew in the window, chanting,
"Those who don't sleep don't dream."
Mother Turtle shooed them out of the room. "Out, out, out!" Mother Turtle said. "As annoying as they are right. Now you get some sleep. We could see the stars early in the morning." As Tom began to drift to sleep, he saw a flash in his right eye. It turned into a rainbow of sparks and spread all through his right eye. This was not strange to Tom. He'd been born with a fractured cornea and flares in his right eye, turning it into a kaleidoscope of sorts. Tom stared off blankly, watching the lights in his right eye, which actually were flares from a pair of candles in the room. The next morning Tom awoke. He looked toward the window and was startled to see the telescope sat there, with a note hung from the viewfinder. Tom walked up to it and read the note, which read, "Dear Tom, we can't keep the telescope outside, and we saw how much you wanted it, so we decided you can have it. When it's late night and you're asleep, we might come take it for us adults, but we won't make a sound. It'll be back in its normal spot in your window when you awaken. Don't stay up too late playing around looking at the stars. P.S. I know about the eye. You wouldn't notice it, but my left eye is glass. Duck." He walked outside. Duck, Mother, and Father stood together smiling and said, "Everyone here cares about you." Tom said, "But what about the mean old frog?" The old mean frog came out of the large mansion. He shouted to a smaller frog, "Get my carrot and have them hitched up at once." Mother Turtle walked up to Frog and said, "I don't like what you've been doing with the rabbits, making them your slaves." Frog grumbled and said, "I own all the land, even the land you live on. I could kick you all into the lake, especially that weird turtle Tom with a freaky eye." Just then Tom saw something sparkling in his eye. He followed it, and off it led him toward a small door in the ground. Tom opened the door. It was heavy and covered in dirt. Inside was a jar with an old piece of parchment. Tom opened the jar and took the piece of parchment to the camp and read it aloud. As decreed by the forest of elders, by the creatures of Dreamworld, he who possesses this parchment possesses all of the land and forest. Frog shouted, "That's mine! How do you find that?" Tom tapped the side of his head. Mother Turtle and Father Turtle winked at him. Duck walked up to Tom and said, "Do you trust me enough to be your mayor? After all, I don't think you're old enough for the job." Tom handed him the parchment, and the first thing he shouted was, "Frog, I expel you to the trenches of the Outlands." Frog was banished. Duck, Tom, Mother, and Father Turtle will live forever safe, all thanks to Tom's special eye. The end. The differences in our abilities is what makes us special. Celebrate the differences and uniqueness in the world. If all were the same, none would be unique. You are loved, and you matter.